Startup founders have a lot on their plate. They are most likely trying to raise capital because, well, they need to hire a bunch of people, including people who can build the product, sales people who can sell it. Sometimes they hire marketing. The one person they seem to forget about is sales engineers or pre-sales, depending on how you want to call it. So in this video, I wanted to talk about why startup founders should hire sales engineers early on. And in case you didn't know me, my name is Ramzi Majraba, and I help sales engineers and startup founders build their sales process, their SE process, and get better results. Number one, engineers are bad at selling. You don't ask a Formula One engineer to be a race car driver. Yes, they're both working on the car, but one is doing something completely different, which is building an amazing machine. And that's what engineers do. They build an amazing product, in theory, which then is used to sell or solve a problem. And sales engineers need to sell that solution from a technical perspective to solve a business problem. And in my experience, when you put engineers in front of customers, they're talking technology. They're not talking problems. They're not talking business. They're talking bits and bytes, features, clicks, fields. That's what their focus is on, instead of the focus being the customer. What problems are we solving for the customer? And I'm not trying to bash engineers. It took me over 3 years to figure out that I was being an engineer in front of a customer instead of being a sales engineer. It's a different set of skills altogether. And if you're never trained for it, how are you to know that you're doing a bad job? And most engineers, there's no one to teach them what to tell customers. There's no one to teach them how to do a demo, how to do a discovery. And they're most likely not being invited to discoveries. They're just invited to come in and do a quick demo and then get out. So engineers are not great at selling. Number two, sales are bad at engineering. I've witnessed so many demos from salespeople where I don't know, I would think that they would be better at actually doing a demo because they understand the customer, they know what they're supposed to show. But because they don't do demos often, or that's not their forte, their job is to go out there and find new opportunities, go out there, build relationships, close deals, that when it comes to doing the demo, they're always underprepared. There is no script. And I'm not trying to bash anybody, but these are the reasons you need sales engineers, because engineers are bad at selling and sales are bad at engineering, which makes sense. One, and sales engineers add more credibility to the team. There's always the thought in the back of the customer's mind that this salesperson is trying to take something from them. They're selling instead of the customer being able to buy. Whether it's a salesperson or an engineer, I've been demoed too. And the entire time that either one is demoing for me, in my head I'm thinking, like, what are they trying to solve? What problem of mine are they trying to solve? And in many cases, they're talking to the wrong persona, because I've asked that question, like, who are you selling this to? And they tell me, oh, we're selling it to this person. I'm like, well, I'm not that person. You're talking to the wrong person, for one. Or they say, we're selling it to you, and in my head I'm like, then why are you talking about that person? I am not that person. I will never buy for whatever reasons you stated for me. Stories are rarely shared. There is no flow to the demo where, hey, we sold this product to this customer because of this, or we solved this problem. It's more, this is what we do, this is the steps you take, and blah, 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 and I fell asleep. But hey, that's a me problem, it sounds like. The number three reason sales engineers are very important is for collecting and then using stories. I mentioned earlier that I've talked to CEOs, and they're doing a demo where they're showing me how their software works within their customer's platform. And they never told me once why their customer even bought from them. I mean, a lot of CEOs say, like, hey, I want to attend meetings. I want to go to these meetings so I can listen to the customer story, so I can learn from them. But then these stories are never used. And I find sales engineers are great at actually listening to stories, collecting those information, and then using them in the next meeting. You're showing me the software within your customer's platform. Why did they buy? Why did they buy that? Why did they let you use their platform to show your software, other than, hey, you're demoing their stuff? But most of the time they're demoing to people outside of the industry that they would sell into, so it's not very useful. So I would want to know these stories. The CEOs are busy doing so many different things that if you're going to jump on a call so you can collect those stories, you better use those stories. Sales engineers know that they should use them. And the fourth reason they're very useful in these situations, sales engineers that is, it's because we can be useful in marketing as well. Sales engineers are marketers, but on a smaller scale, right? The difference between marketing and sales engineering is that marketing is talking to the general population, general public, whereas SEs are talking to individuals. But it's very easy to take what we talk about with individuals and generalize it and make it to the general population. And sales engineers are great at public speaking, public asking, whatever you want to call it, because we do demos, we sit down and ask questions, we work with customers. So sales engineers, especially in the startup world, are very useful in doing webinars, in creating content based on specific customer situations that they've run into. We're just useful in so many different areas, and this is one area where sales engineers should be used. If you have sales engineers, you should use them today, and if you don't, that's one good reason to have sales engineers, so that they can collaborate with the marketing team. Otherwise, marketers, in my experience working with the startups that I have worked on, they have a hard time collecting the stories and actually talking to the audience that they want to talk to. Because marketing, the industry they're in is marketing, but they might be selling to security professionals, they might be marketing to engineers, they might be marketing to sales. Whereas if you bring a sales engineer who sells into that market, they know how to talk to individuals specifically in that market, and they make great marketing resources. I'm not saying replace your marketing team with sales engineers. That's no sales engineer wants that, but most sales engineers, good ones, wouldn't mind being part of the marketing motion. It's one way for us to perform, and I think a lot of sales engineers enjoy that. And that brings me to the fifth point, why you should have sales engineers early on. It's because sales engineers are able to integrate early on with the sales cycle. There is a pre-sales process. A lot of people think that sales engineers just exist to support salespeople. And if that's how you think, you really should hire a good SE early on. A lot of great SEs integrate their SE process, their pre-sales process, how they do the demo. Are they part of the discovery call? They integrate that early on to the sales cycle, so that if you hire an SE after your 10th salesperson, which happens a lot, the process is there, and they're not going to have to try to shove themselves into the process and try to convince salespeople to do one thing over another. It's starting to rain on me, so I'm going to go back inside. That we're inside and safe from the rain, I'm no longer melting. The sixth reason is because we keep salespeople in check. Salespeople are sometimes optimistic, whether that's because of the pressure they're under, or they just have wishful thinking and they think something's going to happen. At the other end of the spectrum are sales engineers who are a little bit more, I wouldn't say pessimistic, but realistic, which means if something's not going to happen, if there is no deal, or if the deal is stuck at the POC, we can tell the higher-ups, the CEO, that this deal is not going to happen. You have some wishful thinking here. So we keep the salespeople in check. But in my opinion, the most important thing that sales engineers do, which is the seventh reason that you should hire an SE early on, it's because SEs can sell. SEs have the credibility. Just by the nature of being an engineer, we have the credibility that allows us to talk to people, for one. Two, the good SEs, the right ones, if you hire the right ones, SEs know how to talk to people. They know how to tie the business to the technical. We're able to talk about the flow, the story, how we solve problems. So great SEs can sell, and great SEs do a great job negotiating for the salesperson. Not in terms of like, hey, we're asking for money, but when we're doing the demo, when we're doing the discovery, when we're talking to customers, every time we open our mouths, we're either adding value or removing value from the deal. Great SEs add value, which means when it's time to negotiate, the salesperson doesn't have to negotiate on price. And that means you can have high margins and not be worried about having to discount to beat the competition. Bonus reasons that we're awesome. That's it. If you like the video, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. If you know a founder that's struggling and they don't think they need to hire an SE, please share this with them. And let me know if you need help. Get back to work. Peace.